1960s Cambodia, a revolution was happening, not with guns, but with rock and roll. And leading it was a woman whose voice, style, and attitude made her the most shocking female artist in Southeast Asian music history. She was Pen Ran, born around 1944 in Battambang Province, Cambodia. Today, most people have never heard of her. But in her time, she was a national sensation who sang songs so scandalous that I'm unsatisfied and I want to be your lover made conservative Cambodian society gasp with outrage. This is the true story of a musical icon who was executed by one of history's most brutal regimes simply for being too free, too sexy, and too independent to exist in their world. Very little is known about Pen Ran's childhood. What we do know is that she was from Battambang Province in northwestern Cambodia, and she attended the same school as a younger girl named Rose Sari Sothia, who would also become one of Cambodia's most famous singers. By the early 1960s, Cambodia was experiencing a cultural renaissance. Its king, Norodom Sihanouk, was surprisingly supportive of experimental music. Cambodian artists began blending traditional Khmer melodies with Western rock, soul, and psychedelia, creating a sound that was completely unique. Pen Ran was an early entrant into this scene. In 1963, she exploded onto the Cambodian music scene with her hit song Pka Kabas, a track that announced her arrival with powerful vocals and an attitude nobody had heard before. But Pen Ran became a true national star in 1966 when she started recording with Shin Sisamut, the most legendary singer-songwriter in Cambodian music history, often called the King of Khmer music. Together, they created music that redefined what it meant to be a female performer in Cambodia. Pen Ran was different. While most female singers of her era sang sweet, restrained songs in traditional dress, Pen Ran showed up in Western hairstyles, revealing clothing, and performed with wild, flirtatious dancing that made conservative audiences scandalized. She sang songs with lyrics like I'm unsatisfied and I want to be your lover, tracks so explicitly sensual that the New York Times later called her a worldly, wisecracking foil to the more restrained Cambodian pop singers of her time. She became known for her playful spirit, powerful vocals, and an onstage energy that made audiences either gasp in shock or cheer in ecstasy. When Rose Sari Sothia debuted in 1967, it actually broadened Pen Ran's popularity. The two women became the two leading ladies of Cambodian pop, both pushing boundaries in their own ways. Throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s, Pen Ran was continuing her solo career. She represented a new kind of Cambodian woman, independent, sexual, and unapologetically herself. Then everything changed. In 1970, Cambodia fell into chaos as civil war erupted. By 1975, the Khmer Rouge, a radical communist movement led by Pol Pot, seized power. The Khmer Rouge's mission was brutal: eliminate all Western influence, all individuality, all modern thinking. They targeted intellectuals, artists, anyone with skills, anyone who challenged their control. For performers like Pen Ran, who represented everything the Khmer Rouge hated, Western music, sexual freedom, female independence, there was only one fate. She disappeared. Pen Ran was forced into the countryside, stripped of her music, her identity, her freedom. Her sister Pen Ram, who was also a singer in the later years of Cambodian psychedelic rock, would later tell the story of what happened. According to Pen Ran's younger sister, she survived until the Vietnamese invasion of late 1978 or early 1979, when the Khmer Rouge launched their final series of mass executions. The story is chilling. Soldiers tricked Pen Ran into performing one of her songs, asking her to sing, maybe to entertain them. She sang, her voice still powerful after all these years of hidden suffering. Then they led her away. She was executed in January 1979, just weeks before the Khmer Rouge regime fell. She was approximately 35 years old. She was killed simply because of her individuality and sexual freedom threatened the Khmer Rouge's goal to remove all foreign influences from Cambodian society, because she represented everything they wanted to destroy. Pen Ran's death was meant to erase her completely. The Khmer Rouge killed an estimated 2 million people, nearly a quarter of Cambodia's population, hoping to wipe the country's memory clean. But they failed. In the late 1990s, a compilation album called Cambodian Rocks introduced Pen Ran's music to international audiences for the first time. She became known to world music fans, documentarians, and music historians. A documentary called Don't Think I've Forgotten, Cambodia's Lost Rock and Roll told the story of her era. Her music appeared on Apple Music and streaming platforms, reaching new generations who'd never heard Cambodian rock before. Today, Pen Ran is recognized as one of Cambodia's most important cultural icons, a symbol of the golden era of Khmer pop, and a tragic martyr who was executed for the crime of being a free woman. Pen Ran's story matters because it's not just about music. It's about why authoritarian regimes fear women who sing. It's about why sexual freedom is revolutionary. It's about why art survives even when artists die. She's not well known globally. Most people have never heard her name. But she deserves to be remembered. A singer who was murdered for singing songs about wanting to be someone's lover. A woman who fought for her right to dance, dress, and express herself through rock and roll. And a musical icon whose voice was silenced just weeks before the regime that killed her finally fell. Pen Ran was Cambodian rock's queen. And her songs should never be forgotten. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more hidden music history from around the world that you've probably never heard before, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps bring these forgotten stories to light. Thanks for watching, and remember, art survives even when artists die.